Hi, I'm Connor Degan. I'm the town clerk here at the town of Hopkinton. I'm just here to talk a little bit about voter registration, elections, and just this most recent annual town election and town meeting that we just had for 2019. So, some of the interesting takeaways that we've had is there's been fluctuation over the course of the past few years on voter turnout, both for town meeting and town elections, which we've seen changes based on the fact that our population has changed so much in the last just 3 or 4 years. We've had a change in voting population of about 22.5% increase since 2016, and that's just of voters. We've gone from having around 9,773 voters to having just shy of 12,000 in that time. And it's really it's had an effect on just the general voter turnout as well as percentages more so, because we've seen more people coming to the polls, but that has affected still the percentage. So, for example, in 2016, we had just over 18% turnout for our local election. And this year, we came at just about 17.9. So we were just shy of that 18. But it was also significantly more people because of the fact that our population's changed to get to that percentage difference. One of the things that's great about Hopkinton that a few other towns don't necessarily have, there's been a huge push around the state to try to change, has been in voter enrollment rates. And so with voter enrollment rates, we've really seen the change in that Hopkinton has a high number of people who are registered of eligible adults. So, of total residents that we have in Hopkinton now, as of today, we have 17,550. And that's at least, not even counting those who we haven't been able to track yet through the annual census. But of those, 13,500 are above the age of 18. Now, of all of the eligible voters, and that includes U.S. citizens over the age of 18, we have a percentage of enrollment of 91.97. Now, most towns that I've spoken to are amazed at that high of a number, which I think is just a real testament to how involved the residents of Hopkinton are in their government.
Well, do you think part of it might be because we have partisan elections, and so you have the parties that go out and try to get people to run on their ticket?
So, I mean, that's entirely possible. There is a correlation there, but when I've had people ask me about the difference there, is it doesn't necessarily ensure more people are getting registered. When you get more people registered to vote, it's because you have people who are interested in being involved. Whether or not they want to actually run for an office or be appointed to a board or committee, they're interested in trying to have a say in what's going on in their town. And even at this most recent town meeting, we had people who, they missed the deadline for being able to register for the meeting, but they still came and wanted to hear and see what was going on and witness the discussion. And it was, at first, it was kind of looked like the first night, oh, maybe it was just a mistake, but then they came back consecutive nights to continue being witness to all of it, rather than watching it on TV or anything like that. So there's an increasing interest in local government.
Do you have a figure on the amount of registered voters as opposed to the amount of eligible voters to register?
Yep. Currently, our registered voter number is 11,696 voters. And as opposed to
a pool of how many adults eligible?
As a pool of 13 that are it's a just over 12,000. I don't remember the exact number of eligible voters, but the but of the I just have of those. There's the 97 or 91.95%. So we have a good number of registered voters, and we've also seen, and we'll probably see changes with the upcoming 2020 census, in that we have seen, as many people have noticed, a lot of rapid growth in Hopkinton. And so that's led to some precincts getting larger and larger, especially in areas where growth is a lot higher.
What do you say about Legacy Farms? What precinct is that?
Legacy Farms is entirely in Precinct 1, and Precinct 1 is our largest precinct at the moment. We have, so all of our precincts, so precincts 2, 3, and 4 are all between 4 and 4,200. So 4,000. The highest one of those three is Precinct 3, which has also seen a significant amount of growth, and they're at 4,242.
And what's Precinct 1 at?
Precinct 1 is currently at 5,076. So it is significantly larger than any of the other precincts at this time, which is why likely when we come up to 2020 and 2021, we'll be re-precincting, and we'll have to likely even add a new precinct, which is why fortunately we prepared by when we just bought new election equipment, and we bought a 5th piece as well to be prepared for the fact that we would likely have a 5th precinct in the coming years.
And do you have any particular demographic group that makes up Precinct 1? I mean, that's Legacy Farms. Do you find that they're voting a particular way?
I don't find
Or
that...
have you analyzed that?
So I haven't analyzed it much, but I have noticed even from just this last election, and I can't remember the exact numbers on it, but from looking at the tapes that we had that came from the machines for voting, there was a significant difference in which candidates gained more support in in Precinct 1 versus the other precincts. There was more support for, I can't remember exactly which candidates there were, but there were a few that I was surprised to see the shift between just Precinct 1 into Precinct 2 and 3. But, I mean, one of the demographic changes has been that there's been a lot of influx of South Asian population, which there have been primarily in Precinct 1, but it's really been all around town. And what's great is I've had a chance to talk with a few of the groups that have formed civic organizations and such from that new population, that new demographic, including the South Asian Circle of Hopkinton, which I had a chance to talk with them in an info social kind of session. And one of the things I was so thrilled to see was the interest in civic engagement. And the questions that I got were so technical and very particular to how can we be involved. And it was even those who weren't necessarily citizens were looking to see how can we be involved even though we can't vote. Because we still want to give back to our community, but we just want to find a way to do it. And so I was able to answer questions on how people can give back, whether it's joining an appointed board, which we've seen. I've seen a few members of the South Asian Circle be appointed to boards recently, which is great. And there's been people who've been running for office. I mean, we have an increased amount of civic engagement. And I think one of the things that really frames that is the participation in annual town meeting. So when I first started in 2016, so right before my first election, the 2016 annual town meeting had a total over the course of all nights. It had 271 people come in. And in 2017's annual town meeting, the first that I presided over, it was not a significant change. It was 268. But then in 2018 and even this year in 2019, we saw a boom over the course of, now both were 3 nights, but over that time, in 2018, we saw 704 participants in town meeting. And just this year in 2019, 613. So we've seen a huge boost in people who are interested in coming in to participate in town meeting.
Do you think that they came in because the questions on the floor had to do with them?
I think that there is a significant factor in that certain individuals want to come and vote on specific questions. What's interesting is, and something that I noticed this year versus previous years, is we didn't have people just flooding in for single questions. We had the regular influx at the beginning, and then we had a slow trickle of people through the entire night, on all nights. I think what that shows is even if people were showing up for specific questions, they were willing to come in and spend the time to vote on other issues as well.
So what is your advice going forward? Come to town meeting, regardless of what's being asked, regardless of if you have skin in the game, as they say. It's good to participate, would you say?
I would say it's vital to participate. We have all these concerns about what's going on in town, whether it's growth, whether it's taxes. All of that is decided by our town meeting. The tax rate is only set based on whatever town meeting votes for a budget. We need to make sure that we're always cognizant and keeping an eye out on the whole process and being involved as much as we can, because it means that no matter what, the 100% pure democracy continues to succeed in Hopkinton.